friends, Queen of Flannel. Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to do a bit of a whip-in chat. I know a few people said that they really liked that format of videos, and I am kind of trying to mix things up and see, you know, what works, and also balance out, you know, my wants and desires for the channel with what you guys like to see. And so we're going to take a break from our Yeti today. I am still working on him, and I hope to have the third and final part out possibly this weekend. If not, it'll come out on Monday, hopefully. But yeah, so I started working on this fruitcake last night. I don't remember off the top of my head the name of the Etsy shop where I got it, so I will link it below, and I'll try and pop it up on the screen and in editing. But this is kind of where we're at right now. And I'm working with my Copics, mainly just because I added some new colors to my collection and then reorganized them on my desk. And yeah, and then I'll just kind of chat with you guys about some future channel plans and some life updates. And I'm going to try and figure out what color reds I want to use for the berries, because I think I'm going to start on those next, even though I still want to do a little bit more work on the cake. I really like the way it looks so far. I may come in with an even darker brown, but I'm thinking that we might do let's see, I'm thinking I like this R27 and the R17. So let me pull those to start. And then I'm not sure if I want to come up into like one of these for some of the darker colors, or possibly I think maybe we'll try the R37, and if we don't like it, then we will regroup. But so I really like this Copic hex chart. This is from Sandy Alnock. I'll leave a link to it down below. I also have, you know, the Copic marker, the regular chart, and I do swatch them on both. I feel like this one helps me a little bit more in terms of knowing what I have and what I'm going to buy. And this one helps me a little bit more in terms of like color matching, because despite Copic's system and their explanation for how it works, I don't always feel like their groupings like match. So I'm trying to, let me think. So these are pretty. These are 0, 2 through 8 are a pretty decent like triad, but some of your like your darker colors, I'm trying to find like a good example. So I guess maybe like the B21, B23, and B24. I feel like this B23 is more of a like a purplish blue than what you would think its matches would be. So I wouldn't necessarily like pair these three together if I was doing just like a straight like tri blend. So that's kind of why I like this chart, because it groups colors together that look similar. So we'll go ahead and we will give this a try, and I'm going to start with my R37. This is Carmine. And I'm going to use this as like my initial shadow color. I'm probably going to go in and add a darker color later on. So, but yeah, I hope you guys are doing well. Things are things here. Trying to remember if I did when my gnome color in chat was, like what I have to update you guys on. I had my appointment with the neuro-ophthalmologist on Monday, so I think I briefly talked about the situation with that. So I get the majority of my care through the VA because of my VA disability rating. And I had issues last winter trying to get a referral to the ophthalmologist through the VA. So basically, long story short, I saw the VA optometrist, and we talked a little bit about, the thyroid eye issues, and she really didn't know anything about thyroid eye disease, which makes sense because she's an optometrist, and that's usually something that you would see an ophthalmologist for. And so she was reluctant at that point. I don't even want to say reluctant, just didn't know enough about it to say, yeah, let's go ahead and refer you to the ophthalmologist, and just, did her standard exam and sent me on my way. And then I started having further issues with my eyes during a flare-up, and I talked to my endocrinologist about it, and they tried to put a direct referral in with the VA ophthalmologist themselves, and I get a call from the clinic. I'll get you guys in a little closer here. Saying that the only person who can refer to the ophthalmologist is the optometrist, which I think is dumb. And so they said I could come in and see her again, and I was like, fine, whatever, if that's what I need to do. So go back in and have another exam with her, and basically what came out of it was that the bulging in my eyes was quote-unquote stable from when she had seen me a few months prior, and my optic nerves aren't impinged, and that I didn't need a referral to the ophthalmologist, and that she would see me again in a year. So when I took that back to my endocrinologist, also through the VA, they were not very happy because being officially diagnosed with thyroid eye disease kind of informed some of my future treatment options, because typically what they do is they try you on medication, antithyroids, and then when you get to a point where what they call euthyroid, where you still have your thyroid antibodies, but your numbers are in range, they start looking at either radioactive iodine therapy or thyroidectomy, and they like to do the radioiodine therapy first because it's a less invasive option, but it carries a risk of making thyroid eye disease worse, and also in some people who had no eye issues when they were diagnosed with Graves' disease, it actually can cause it. So since I have eye issues, that the radioactive iodine therapy is probably not going to be in my best interest if I end up needing to go the next steps. And even if I go euthyroid, my chances of relapsing are pretty high, especially because of the my antibody numbers were off the charts. So my endocrinologist put in a request for community care, and it took 3 weeks for the VA community care office to finally contact me and tell me that they put my request in. And then it was another couple weeks to actually hear back from the local hospital here. And this was in July, and they're like, oh yeah, your appointment is in December. So I had to wait 4 months for this appointment. And so part of me is angry with the VA for not just listening to me in the first place. And if they had, that maybe I wouldn't be in the position that I'm in now. I could have had treatment started on my eyes earlier, because now I am at the point where the tissue swelling in the muscles and the fat tissue behind my eyes. Trigger warning, if you don't like medical stuff, I will try and not be super graphic, but basically, because of the level that it has progressed to, my eyes are not in the same positions in my face, and so it has affected my peripheral vision, it has affected my night vision, and on top of, affecting my mental health because of how I look. So I'm a little testy about how that situation turned out, but it is what it is. And so I have a CT scan scheduled for later on in December, and then I'm supposed to start steroid infusions at some point in the near future. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, so that's my current medical situation. And it's also frustrating because I really do want and need to go find work outside of the house. But then there is that, like, now I'm about to embark on 12 weeks of weekly infusions, and I don't want to apply for a job and get hired and then immediately be like, oh yeah, but I've got medical appointments out the booty, so I'm gonna be gone you know, dealing with that once a week, and then who knows how my body will react to the steroids, and that's like 12 weeks. So, you know, that was frustrating, because it's like I'm finally at the point now where Joe, my son, doesn't need a full-time parent at home, and it'd be good for me to work outside the house. And yeah, so if we had done this back in the spring, it would have been probably better. So that's kind of frustrating, but such is life. So I'm just going to keep plugging away with YouTube and Twitch. I'm actually monetized over on Twitch, so there's that. And I am eligible for monetization here on YouTube, at least the first like tier of monetization, which apparently they've made some changes to since I started making videos before the deployment. So if you are not aware, there are two monetization tiers. The first one, it basically, you need I think it's 1,000 subscribers, 3,000 watch hours, or there's some requirements, like if you do shorts and things like that, if you're trying to get monetized that way. And that unlocks supers, the ability to put like a storefront, and there was one other option. I can't remember what it is. And then the second tier is where you can unlock the ability to like get ad revenue. And really the only difference between the two to unlock the that second tier is the short view requirements is like 10 million, and the requirement for like regular videos is 4,000 watch hours. And so I hit the 3,000 watch hours, which is great, but with the huge gap from being gone on the deployment and then coming back, and just trying to figure out YouTube's like algorithm. The majority of my views come from one video from really early on when I started doing this. And I've heard from a few other people that YouTube kind of like frowns, I don't want to say frowns upon, but like they look at that when they're reviewing your channel. And so seeing that the majority of your views come from like just one or two videos, and aren't, you know, really a little bit more evenly spread across your content, you can actually have your application for YouTube partnership like rejected for that. And so I don't think I want, well, I mean, I do want to apply. It'd be nice to monetize the channel. I feel like I put in quite a bit of work, you know, between trying to plan out content and editing things and whatnot. But I just feel like I need to be a little bit more consistent in my numbers. So I think I'm going to hold off on applying to monetize until I hit the that 4,000 watch hours. And so I've got a ways to go on that front. So, you know, we'll keep plugging away, and hopefully at that point YouTube will be like, oh, look at the consistency here. But it's tough because it's like, and I think, you know, I've had some conversations with people about the algorithm, and it does tend to favor, you know, videos, haul videos and reviews and things like that, but that is expensive. And when you're largely buying things out of like pocket, you know, and I don't want to be a review channel, you know. It's one thing if it's a product that like really like speaks to me, but there are so many people out there that are really good about with reviews and that level of like the technical side of things that I just don't get, you know. Those are nice. I like these my little berries. And then there's a couple little things up here that I'm not sure what this is up here. If this is like the little, it kind of looks like the little like fruit things down here. But yeah, so I am eligible to monetize the channel. I think I'm gonna hold off for a little while. Let's see. So let us go down here and start working on some of these little. So I am going to bring in some green, methinks, for this part, for the fruit. But yeah, I am just kind of plugging along. All right, let's do. Nope, I didn't want to do this one red. Whoopsie doops. Other than that, I mean, it just, we had I worked some extended hours at base. So, you know, there's that. We just had our holiday party, so that's always a good time. All right, let's see. I think I'm going to go with G14 and G05 for the green berries, because from what I saw looking at pictures of fruitcakes, it's like jellied fruit. So it's kind of a bright green. So I think that's what I'm going to start out with, and then I'll probably also bring these greens into like up here, just so that I keep like continuity across the totally lost my train of thought. Just to tie the picture together, so like the leaves and whatnot, I want to bring in like 8 million different different greens. So I am going to kind of go back and forth between the greens and the reds, just so that I get like a nice mix of the greens and the reds, like the berries like spread out. The easiest way for me to do it is to just kind of bounce back and forth until I figure out where I want them all. Yeah, I already feel like there's like too many on top of each other, but we'll make it work. I'm really happy with the way this has turned out so far, though. I'm just trying to, I wouldn't say more realism with my marker, art, but just, I don't know, like I don't know how to explain it. Just to feel like more comfortable with just using markers and being able to get texture and depth in my my marker art. You know, rather than just coloring things like a solid block of color. Of course, the only, well, I guess I wouldn't really call it like a downside, but I always tell myself I'm only going to use like a handful of markers for this project, and then before I know it, like all of my markers are out on my desk. I think this is a part of the frosting, but Um, so let's do these bigger berries around here just before I forget, and then I think I can largely put the red markers to the sides. Yeah, so this image came in a PDF of like 30 different images with cakes. And so it's been tough because like I don't want to knowingly support like AI generated like stuff. And I know a lot of people, you know, in terms of like portraits and things like that and whatnot, say that like you can tell there's like things to look out for, and some of it is pretty obvious, but then there's somewhere where it's not. And so I've largely tried to stick to artists that I see other colorists or that I have colored their work before, and I know that it's not AI generated. But it's tough because it's like when you're looking through this, you're like, oh, I really like that, and so you know, scanning through like Etsy reviews and making sure that you're reading descriptions and seeing what people have to say, and sometimes it's hard to tell from like preview images until you actually get the image or like the book. And then it's like, oh, well, you know, I have one book that I bought that the images looked nice and clean in the reviews. I got it on Amazon. And so I was like, okay, you know, I'll go ahead and I'll pick it up. I think it wasn't, you know, an uber expensive book, but then you know, I got it and I'm like, wow, this is definitely not something I want to support. So now I won't be doing any videos on that book. I actually think it's in my box to take to the women's shelter. I did some destashing, and I am going to donate some supplies that I don't use very often to our local women's shelter. But I'm sure if I unknowingly use something that somebody else has a better eye than I do, they will tell me. But I just thought this was like a fun little image to work on. So, tell me, have you all gotten your Christmas shopping done? I feel like I am pretty much done, save for maybe if there's like a small item that jumps out at me that I know like my son or my partner would like, but like big ticket items, yeah, I'm done with those. And we so usually we started this when my family came back from overseas, and we started, you know, getting back into like the family like gift gatherings and our, you know, Christmas, is that the grown-ups, so we do our own family Christmases now. Uh, we decided when the kids were younger, my sister and I were like, it is too difficult to do family Christmas and then try and load the kids up and take them to grandma's. It's like we've just given them a bunch of like brand new toys and gifts and then saying, no, you got to leave that here. We're going to grandma's. It was just too much. So we do our own family Christmases on Christmas Day. And then depending on when Christmas falls, we either do the big family gathering like the weekend before or the weekend after. And we decided that we weren't going to do like grown-up gifts, that it was more about the kids. And so we just, you know, we do the kid gifts. But then somewhere along the way, you know, my uncle, he still gets, I guess in his eyes, my sister and I are, you know, the kids, but he still gets like gifts and things like that. And so then we kind of, I won't say that completely like went out the window, but we did, we do like the big cheese like gift baskets. So I wasn't here for Christmas last year, and that was what my my husband did. So we send his mom one, and then we give one to our neighbor because they drive our son to school. And then we got small ones for, you know, my mom, my stepdad, and my uncle, and then one for my my sister's family. So I just ordered like a crap ton of cheese. The gift cheese. Okay, I'm gonna start on the leaves here, and this is the same. This is G14 apple green. This is the same green I used on these berries. I feel like it looks festive and Christmassy. Let's see. Okay, so now I kind of want to, so this is the G14. I'm trying to decide if I want to go up to the YG for my lighter color, or because I feel like the YG06 is a little too close to the G14. So I'll segue real quick since I have the chart out here. Because I know this comes up. We can, if you're interested in more in-depth like video on the Copic markers and choosing colors and whatnot, let me know in the comments, and I can probably put something together, even though I know there are a ton of them out there, but I can offer, you know, my perspective on it. But you really don't need all 358 colors. I know that I'm a completist. It's that like full set syndrome where I'm like, well, I must have them all. But like I was saying, like this G14 and YG06 are really, really similar. So you could probably do without one or the other, or if you got the G14 and one of the lighter yellows, you could probably make this YG06 by just like layering G14 and maybe Y02. And I find that across, you know, especially like up here in the reds, where you can see like I have a bunch of these markers. It's not all spread out, and you can see that there is not a lot of difference between some of these colors. So segue back to our leaves. I think I am gonna go with the YG03. So let me just pull that real quick. So we'll try and finish these leaves up. And then I think we'll wrap this video up, because I know that I'm going to have a tiny little cat who is going to come shrieking at my door momentarily because it is almost time for her lunch. Definitely need to bring a darker green in here for this. So we'll just use the other green that we used for our berries, and I'll have to go in and blend some of that out, but I'm just trying to keep this like to the stem in the center here. I don't want to bring the darker color too far out. I feel like it needs some work. It doesn't really have the oomph that I want for it, but I can work on that off camera, and then it'll go up on Instagram. Which, if you're not following me on Instagram, I'll pop a little button down there. You can't click on it, but I am Queen of Flannel over on Instagram. So yeah, so that's gonna wrap up today's video. Thank you guys so much. I super appreciate all of the support. Let me zoom you out so you can see what our fruitcake looks like so far. And yeah, so thank you very much. And if you enjoyed the video and you want to see more, be sure to like, subscribe, hit the bell to get notified when I post future videos. And I will see you guys in the next one. Thank you so much.